321. I guess it's live now. So, yeah, we went back and started off looking at an ATS and DuckDuckGo, and then Resume Genius, which I think is a resume builder, and how to build a resume, a cover letter, my least favorite thing in the entire world, and a CV, which isn't a CV the same as a resume?
Ish, but not. I mean, we use them interchangeably. But...
Who says they're different?
Right.
You know, I don't know. I think the name of my document doesn't even include either of those. It just says David Busby. That's it. You know, davidbusby.pdf, because I'm so clever. But this resume we're looking at just looks like something that you'd want to get when you have somebody you're hiring. Regular.
So ChatGPT says that a resume is concise, 1 to 2 pages. It's a summary, versus a CV is a longer, more comprehensive entire career. So apparently I only do CVs because
people your 50-page resume.
You can't fit 33 years of experience in one page. And I've tried it, and all it ends up doing is leading to questions, right? When you give them when you send someone a truncated, filtered down, watered down, job history removed resume, then they say, well, okay, well, what did you do before 5 years ago or 10 years ago, right? You are of an age, clearly. You talk about experiences. How did you get those experiences?
Well, didn't have room on my one page.
Right.
It's completely on the other side of the universe, but still in the whole tech, entrepreneurship, job space, that we generally are bullshitting about is the entrepreneur has to show up and do a 1-minute pitch. And then at the end of the 1-minute pitch, it's like, hey, well, how come you didn't say something about blah, blah, blah? Well, I had 60 seconds. Right. I mean, I'm trying to put all the important stuff into that 60 seconds. And I wanted to talk about my team and my traction. And that's why I left out the specific mechanics of our, innovative battery chemistry. You can't even say battery chemistry in 60 seconds, right? That's, so maybe you need 2 resumes, or, a resume that's a 1-pager, and then has a little teaser link at the bottom. Please go and visit my CV that has all your shit on it. And your resume is now the equivalent of, oh, this is my 1-minute pitch. Or maybe that's what the cover letter is. Again, I've never done a cover letter in my entire life. And it's not something I plan on doing. And then I don't think I've ever asked for it.
The times where they made sense was when I was faxing resumes.
Oh, yeah.
That's when they were relevant.
By OWL, then.
and I got jobs by faxing resumes. In fact, one job that I got, it took me like 3 weeks to get my resume printed, sent to my mom, and my mom was able to find somebody that had a fax machine, and she could fax the resume, right? And the timing worked perfect. Because the guy at the adjacent company was standing at the copy machine when my resume came through the fax machine. And he's like, we need to create an opening for this guy, for this job, for this person. Because he didn't ever even let the resume land at the company I applied to, because it was just a cable pulling job, right? He's like, we have an ISP. This guy has ISP experience. And it was just the luck of the fax. But yeah, when I've done cover letters is when I was cold emailing, or anytime I'm emailing somebody directly, where I'm emailing an individual, right? The cover letter will be the email that I write, right? Which might be as simple as, hey,
what's up? I found your company was hot. I found your company had some money, and I want some of it. Gimme.
You're doing something that I have experience in. Can I help you? Will you pay me?
Yeah, all of these resumes are just like these resume templates. I don't see any pro tips that are saying anything about it tuning up for how an ATS is going to work.
That format is very ingestible, right? The problem that you run into is people who will make like collimated resumes, or put graphics on them because maybe they're in the graphics design space, or somebody in graphics design space helped them build their resume. And so they put lots of stuff, and they'll put pieces over here in one column, and they'll put pieces over here in another column, and then they'll have main stuff. And when the ATS tries to ingest it, and it either just flows down a column, and so you get random interleaved orders, or it will flow across the page.
I did mine. Like, this is one I generated with resume JSON. I don't know if you've ever seen that tool, but you know what I'm really looking forward actually is resume YAML, because I like to add comments, and you can't put comments in JSON.
You can't put comments in JSON, right? Exactly.
I mean, you can, but then you're having these weird, kludgy, funny key names and shit, and I don't like that.
Or you use JSON. You use a JSON C library instead, because JSON C allows comments. But
I'm out. No deal. Just give me YAML. Or, you know what? Why can't we just all go back to INI files, remember? So, okay, 1,000 years ago, it was all XML with some coolest shit, right? And I mean, it was the late 90s. XML was the coolest shit. And then this one dev I had hired, he's like, XML is going to save the world. It's so cool. It can do all of this neat stuff. And it can do really like a whole lot of neat stuff. And then one of the cool things that it did, like out of the box 100 fucking years ago, was load up this XML that some chucklehead has given you, and then your library will just magically validate it against the schema and the namespace, and all of this magic sauce works right out of the box. And you've got a nice tree structure you can like read through when you want to read the tree structure. So then many, many years later, somebody said, hey, I want a tree structure, something or other. So we're throwing around JSON blobs with no schema validation or any of that other stuff. And someone says, well, let's make a JSON schema, and then we'll use the JSON schema to validate the JSON schema against this JSON schema validator. Like, oh, cool. We started all over. Like, and furthermore, then they say, oh, well, we've reinvented the wheel. You have not reinvented the wheel. You invented it one fucking time. It worked. You have re-implemented the wheel, and your wheel is crappier.
yes.
End of that rant.
Wheel, you know what a wheel is. You didn't have to invent a wheel. You just, yeah.
ATS friendly resume. Here it says minimalist design, blah, blah, blah. You were just saying that. Don't do columns. Do something. Something. Keywords. Pre-formatted. Label your sections clearly. Professional experience and educations and skill sets. Cool. You were just saying avoid headers. This is from Indeed's career guide here. You were just saying avoid headers, columns, tables, and graphics. I agree. Choose a correct font. You better say sans serif. I don't even know if any of these are sans serif, but
well, Arial is definitely a sans serif font. I'm not sure about Garamond, but it's a pretty common.
No, that one's serif.
That is serif.
Blech.
See, I like serif fonts, but you know, I cannot lie.
It's okay to be wrong. And then it says it's got to be 10 and 12 points, big font. You know, that's what they also say on your pitch deck, right? Your in-person pitch deck that's going on the projector behind you, big ass font, not 12 point, right? Like 72 point or something along that. Even when you're doing a web presentation, you know, somebody's looking at your presentation on their tiny little screen. Do they want to squint at that and stuff like this? Give them a big font too. Apply keyword optimization. Do something with relevant keywords. There's an article about magical stuff. Make sure you include Masters of Business Administration if you're having an MBA. If the ATS is so garbage and it's now and it can't make MBA, and no MBA means MBA and not.
Well, that's because someone may not be searching for MBA. They may be searching for Masters or Masters of Business. So if it just takes MBA and puts it into your keywords that the search engine is going to look for, it's up to the person searching.
No, man, no, because the engine is supposed to be smart enough to handle all of those
The problem is that they aren't.
Okay, so we have a
If
different.
we were building an ATS, it would probably work differently.
Well, so like if you miss out on the job because they were searching for you had PostgreSQL and they were searching for Postgres and it doesn't even know how to branch or partial match like some kind of word or something. Listen.
Well, and they may build filters for exclusion, right? They get 1,000 resumes, and if they decide that, okay, well, we need to filter those out, we're gonna just remove anything that doesn't come up with PostgreSQL. Then your Postgres doesn't match PostgreSQL, but you don't know which one they're going to use. So it's important to use multiple variants of the terminology in your resume.
Right, because I got experience with both ECMA and JavaScript.
Right, it's SEO, right? It's just SEO. We're just doing it in a different search engine.
This one here says too, final section, put your skills and keyword stuff the shit out of the final section for your skills. I wonder if that's what Jason Resume does. No, it ends with volunteering and education. I would have put the skill set at the top.
Yeah.
Or maybe I've told it to do that somehow. I'm not entirely sure how it.
I think from an ATS standpoint, it generally does okay either direction. The humans tend to like these at the top because when we look at a resume, we're going to go, oh, quick scan. Do I see things I'm looking for?
Right.
If you put it at the bottom, then the human's going to have to go to the bottom. But you might do more keyword stuffing at the bottom, right? You might say, well, okay, I'm a video encoding specialist, and so I focused on X265, and I've done a lot of H264. But you might put MPEG 1 and MPEG 2 and MPEG 4 and stuff down in the bottom, where you're like, these are things that are relevant, but it's not what I'm looking for.
This one says resume init, complete the resume, something resume validate. Oh, this is from the JSON universe for resume something or other. But I don't think my resume was actually built with that one because it doesn't match my resume JSON file, but I have some markdown. And so I may have just done a thing like Pandoc or something. I can't tell from any of these other tools that exist here if I have anything that does that. I'm looking for something that would say like MD2 something. Don't have that. Well, I wonder how I made this resume then. That's disappointing because, oh, and I should be able to remember it since the last time I fiddled with this was 2 years ago. Oops. Well, I guess we'll have to come back to resume, Jason. So that's how you write a resume. And here's another resume template. Download, sign up to download. Well, there's another problem. What do they call it? Enshittification. You're enshittifying all of my stuff.
Yep.
Oh, here we go. Put your name. I don't put my location and other stuff on there. Like I put my name and I put my email and my phone.
In today's world, I think it's mixed.
You need that phone, email. I got a website, so I my website. But
if you're going to let the parser parse it, it needs to find something, or it's going to make things up and fill things out. If you're going to fill it in by hand, it's still going to ask you somewhere in the flow to give them a city, state, country.
Oh, right, because that's the other common problem with every ATS. It's like, please upload your resume. That includes everything. Step 2, fill out this form that includes all the stuff that was
everything that was in your resume. Yes,
this is the fun part of that whole process. Like, you offload all of that work to someone who is seeking the work, and now you don't have to do that as the hiring manager or as the recruiter, things like this. Anyhow, 2 or 3 sentences or bullet points that include your years of experience and stuff. Action verb, what you did, more detail, plus reason, outcome, or quantified results. You got to talk about quantified results because you need to know that I'm the kind of guy who's going to work on my stats for this quarter so I can get a bonus and not worry about the long term. I don't mean to sound too jaded, but I am. This is exactly how you keyword stuff your skill set too. Just write skill. I got all the skill. Degree, major, something. So you could put in your skills or something. I have an
MBA and Masters of Business.
And then down here at education, you write, I got Masters of Business Administration, parens, MBA. Maybe you can't put parens around it because the ATS is so shit that it'll like not work with that thing either. Sorry, parentheses confuse our parser. I can believe it. Upload your resume. $35. $35 delivered in 3 days. $55 delivered in 2 hours. $155 delivered in 2 days. Professionally resume, blah, blah. Hey, look at all the 5-star reviews they have received.
How much do you want to bet they're just feeding it through an LLM?
How much do you want to bet? How would we test that? I love science. How would you test it?
I don't know.
Order one of these things, and then it says personalized suggestions. Here's how to test it. Let's use an LLM to generate like 6 PDFs for people with varying levels of qualifications for some shit. And then you could feed that into resume review 6 times, 6 different resumes for like 6 different jobs. You know what I mean? Like, have the LLM guess at 6 jobs we should pick and then put it in there and then look for, was this response LLM generated? That could be a fun experiment. All right. Well, that's how to write a cool resume. Was Greenhouse one of those things?
Greenhouse.io, but I think you have to.
It's a Greenhouse.io, and then it bounces me to Greenhouse.com. They're the same thing.
Yeah, I guess all of the when you're hitting the application field, the application pages, they'll be .io.
Okay. They're hosting their app on that other thing.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay. Hey, they got some API if you're into that. Open to all, advanced integrations, ready to do something, get a demo. That's cool. Line Survey is hiring. Oh, yeah, that's where I found this thing. So, like, here's Workable. Did we already fiddle with them? Oh, yeah. We did. Line Survey. So, autofill application. Import resume from my computer. Desktop. Resume. David Busby PDF. Let's see how smart this one is. Got my first name and last name. I don't know if that other stuff is there. Got my education. Got half of it anyway. Experience, it gave me, it did pretty okay. It says I need a title for Edocio. Experience. Oh, I have no title at Edocio. I'm the fucking dude, man. What did I do to turn my markdown into PDF? I wonder what I did here. It's not even, I don't even have it in my notes, man. That's like frustrating. Oh, no, it's not. I know what it was. Good old Pandoc. Pandoc never fails. So what's my title at Edocio? The dude. When I worked at Microsoft, man, one of these guys in the office on like the IPsec team or something, he was on a different floor than me. And then one of the guys on my team was like, you got to see this guy's office. So his office was like spooky dark. You know, he had a window so you could see him. His office was always like spooky dark. And then on the door, his title said, The Dude. Industry for Adocio. Industry. Yes, I do industry. Now I have a summary there. And I don't know if it caught any summary from those other things. Oh, look. No, that's the other job. I don't know. I'll just like paste that shit back in here. Start date 2001, sure, update. So these other ones don't have a summary. I wonder why not.
I pick up summaries.
But I've got summary data.
I like how company is optional though. Title is required, but company is optional. And start date and end date are optional.
Right. Can you explain this gap in your resume? No. Fuck you. What is this even for? Full stop developer. Sure. Okay. Oh, please fill out this field. Looks like I'm signing up for something, man. You're going to have to put my phone number in there? That's cool. Address is
I've gotten to where most of those I just put 555-1212.
Oh, no, I got a real phone number. Hey, photo optional.
Because I don't want them to text me.
I don't think that phone number receives texts.
Yeah. Oh, yours doesn't?
I don't know. It's a Twilio phone number, and it used to do texting, but then all these things got locked down with like a something something and 10 DLC, and you have to do this for all your advertising campaigns. So now I used to use that phone number. It's my incoming phone. It used to receive text. I don't know if it can do that anymore. And I used to use it for sending text, right? My home server needs to tell me something or blah, blah, blah. I was using this Twilio thing to send myself, me, my wife, get a text like once every 3 days, like some nonsense, you know? Some nonsense. The thing is like, oh, you know, we've noticed there's something or other. The temperature is blah, you know? Whatever noise it needs to make. I do not know how it got my image, but that is the right picture of me. And I'm looking in my resume that I uploaded.
Do you have Gravatar?
No, I don't think it's on my Gravatar. I forgot about Gravatar, man. Oh, yeah. That thing that guy Matt made, but then he went crazy.
Because I find lots of things will pull from Gravatar. So if it references the email address and looks at Gravatar for that email, then it'll pull. I mean, obviously anything WordPress related still does, but it's always interesting to me to find something that pulls from Gravatar, and you're like, oh, surprise!
I think that's my LinkedIn photo.
You didn't give it a LinkedIn profile link, though, did you?
I didn't give it a profile link, but that is my LinkedIn photo, man. I don't know. Inspect element. Let's see what they've done. Oh, they got their own copy of it.
Yeah.
56 by 56. Well, my LinkedIn one's 200 by 200.
Google email profile image?
Nah, that's a Adocio icon.
Yeah.
Well, interesting. They found me. That's cool. You know, I know how they found me, dude. Come on, let's be for real. They looked for David Busby on LinkedIn and then found one who was at these companies and was like, this is the guy.
Sure. I'm sure that's what they did.
Hey, why did I think maybe I selected to edit that one. Yeah, so it didn't have that, whatever. Submit.
Oh, are you human? Too bad. I'm not.
Your thing.
Oh, I've been stuck in a bunch of Cloudflare and GitLab's captchas like that. Well, or stuck in infinite loops now. I can't get through them in some of my browsers.
Have you tried rebooting?
How about I just turn the internet off and back on again?
Dude, oh man. You know, in the list of things that we can complain about is how many times you like email somebody because you're like sending a problem to support and you're like, hey, I've opened the browser console and here I'm showing like a whole bunch of error logs coming off of your system where your server's like throwing out 500 level errors, or you're referencing scripts that don't exist. The video that I sent you shows me like holding jump cache and like reload and stuff like this, and they say, oh well, maybe you could try like a different browser. Oh, your website doesn't work with Chrome.
What other browser is there? There's only Chrome. I mean, and Firefox.
Oh, there's Firefox.
Everything else.
And
Nobody
Ladybird,
writes for Firefox.
Servo, and Verso, and
And those aren't Chrome skins? Come on.
Illo, no, Vivaldi and Brave are Chrome skins.
Yeah.
Ladybird's not a Chrome skin, and Servo/Verso is not a Chrome skin. Ladybird's its own brand ass new rendering engine, and Servo's its own brand ass new rendering engine. And then don't even forget about whatever's going on with the QuickJS guys got something going, I think. Maybe it's, I can't remember. There's another one that's going on that's doing this browser thing, whose name I can't remember, but trying to do little embedded shits. I'll find it, man. We should do another jam session about, look at all these browsers. Line survey is, oh, that's the one that came from the other spot, but here's another one from Jobicy. Job Icy. How do you pronounce Jobicy? Is that Job Icky or is that Job Itzy?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Job Itchy. Yeah, it's Job Itchy. This one has a tailor resume button with the same little 4-point star thing. Oh, you have to upgrade to plus. I wonder how much it costs. Go on Jobicy and find work. Jobicy, here's pricing. $95. One job ad. Oh, you can go for free and do something. Oh, that's pricing if you want to post a gig. $95 a job. Okay, I get it. That's fine. That seems reasonable. And then if you want to do resume crap, you get $45 for 3 months. So $15 a month. CV view statistics. Well, is this thing working on my resume or is this thing working on my CV? Because here it says resume and here it says CV. And as the AI bot just recently told us,
like I said, they are in this world, they are actually just interchangeable terms. It's so interchangeable that they're using them right there next to each other.
I don't want to.
CV posting, create your resume.
Post a free CV. Already have it. Do you think that when you post somebody your CV and then it fills it out and it asks you for your work email, why would you email me at the job that I'm trying to quit? Maybe you should put in your personal email.
Yeah, that
right?
doesn't seem like it should be a work email, does it?
No, that should be a.
I mean, if on the I'm a recruiter tab of this, sure, but maybe this is a UI problem. No, okay, it's not.
If you're a candidate, you give them your work email, and if you're a recruiter, you give them your company email.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, sure. Is company email your main company email, like info@companyname.com, or is that your
email at the company, right?
Guys, get good. Oh, here's another one of those same job developers. I sort of want to see. Let's go back to pricing. What am I going to get for free? Oh, sorry. Whoops. What am I going to get? Oh, your page doesn't remember the state. That's awesome.
And so up here, dark is
brutal.
In this field, dark is the selected one. In that other one, the dark is the unselected one.
Yeah, why not? Do you even understand art, man?
It's design. You don't need to understand it.
It's design. Exactly. The design is very human. I was hoping it was going to do something for my CV, but this doesn't create your online resume, and for $0 I can get fast approval, and then for $45 I can get instant approval. And the FAQs are all about my job. Remote job listings. There sure is a lot of remote jobs. It's competing with Levels.io, Peter Levels for remote jobs from, what is it? Remote OK.
Everything is a remote job site now.
Is it?
I mean, you know, after Indeed and LinkedIn and all the other majors decided to add the filter by remote, then everything's a remote job site now.
Let's
It
see if
used
I
to be
can find.
very, very, very hard to filter by remote. In like in LinkedIn for years and years and years, the common theme was you would post your remote job as remote Oregon, and people would search for remote Oregon.
Oregon?
There's a town in Oregon called Remote. It has more jobs than anything in the world, than any other place in the world, I think, or it did for a long time.
Is that? I mean, yeah. All right, cool. Yep. Sure. I just did a search for jobs here that included SQL, and it's job title still SQL search, no gigs.
Do you have to click the search button? Is that a search? Is that a button? That is a button.
I clicked enter.
Yeah, but that doesn't always do what you think it does.
It better. There's no gigs for SQL. JavaScript. Everybody wants Java. No.
Okay. If there's no Python, then clearly we are in a.
No. Python.
All right. Job. Position.
The letter A. Hey.
Oh.
Boom. I know how to search, bro. I'm good at it. I don't think these are. There's not a lot of gigs
basically here. They don't have a lot of companies coming in and filling it and pressing their submit a job or it for free or pay.
I think you might be right. And here's an ad in the middle of the job listing for me to post my CV. FAQ, can I upload a file? File uploads are not supported. Fill out our form manually. That one you can't even do your. Why would you need a site to host your resume though? Do you know what's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not like give us a link to your resume is a thing in any of the job application platforms.
No, if you have a profile site or something like this, you should be able to drive people right to that. I think, if it's a text space,
the only place you can use it would be.
Or if you're a designer. Designers have to have that.
Yeah.
Sort by newest jobs. Back to remote. Okay, that's a good one. I love that they have that, animated GIF new. I really wish that they would bring back the whole under construction animated GIF. That one was cool.
Very MySpace.
Yeah. Soda data. Trying to find one that seems good. Ops manager, Web3 and Ethereum. I'm out. Senior DevOps engineer.
For $60,000 to $80,000 a year. So how senior are they?
I don't know. It has a star symbol next to it. No salary data published by the company, so we estimated salary based on similar jobs related to design, Python, DevOps, cloud, senior engineer, and Linux. How much do you think someone should make in the United States as a senior DevOps? Let's look at what they got to do.
Look, they do actually have it posted. They put a number in there.
Where?
170 to 200. Below your mouse. Keep going. Just below that. Right there.
Nope. That says 170 to 200 a year. Equity, yes.
So they actually did list it. It just doesn't fit into their.
It says right here, no salary data published.
Right.
Oh, this is the note from here that says.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they didn't successfully scrape that.
Well, look, it says this job could be pseudonymous, and you could get paid in crypto. That's interesting. Senior remote, something. Big investors.
At least they do have a reasonable salary on it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it wasn't showing up at the top.
Yeah.
Sales development. What do you think of sales development? Ooh. This
Ooh.
this thing turned into a wall of text. I think this turned into a wall of text because whatever is
Yeah. Because
taking
they're just scraping these out of via the APIs for all those platforms, right?
Are they?
Yeah. So click the apply. Where does it go? Which platform? It's at the top. Oh, there's one at the bottom too.
It says remote OK /L/
Let's see where it redirects to.
Oh, it's giving me their job number.
Oh, that's right. Remote OK requires you to sign in with them to be able to click through.
Do you think you have to go through this one to then go to the next?
I think they still end up linking you to the ATS directly.
Remote Jobs API. Hey, look, they have this thing that's called Hacker News Mode. What's that up? Oh, that is very, very cool. Yeah. Oh, that's very cool. Good job.
If you're gonna knock off a bad UI, you might as well use that one.
What do you mean bad UI? It does everything you want it to do.
Exactly.
Check. Sent your something. Check your spam box. Something. Well, JavaScript alert on sign up. Love it. So this guy Peter Levels who made this thing, right? He has a spot where he sells some swag somewhere, or he was going somewhere to sell some swag. Let's see if we can find it. This house does not exist. Make 2020 something. Listen, dude was like, put a thing up there and you can buy a hat that said index.php because if you look at his Twitter, he's like, oh yeah, I'm coding up all my stuff with Tailwind and PHP or something like this. And at one of the open coffees, we were pointing folks to this dude's profile and on the entrepreneur side, and he looks at the thing and goes, oh, that guy uses PHP, fuck him, and stops paying attention and sort of missed the point that dude's barfed out 80 prototype projects and been able to hang on to the ones that work and is making pretty dang good money. So who cares if it's PHP? You are paying attention to the wrong part of the
language does not matter.
Pattern,
Yep. Language does not matter at all.
Nobody who's writing checks cares about any of the religious arguments about this language is better than
unless you're writing unless you're building a product for a language or for developers who use that language, no one cares. No product
that part doesn't matter.
Cares about what language it's in. I go to BASF.com because I'm looking for BASF products, right? I don't care what they wrote their website in.
Got my login.
Or as BASF, doesn't make the products anyway. They just make them better. So
profile photo.
Still one of my favorite commercials.
I don't even know what you're on about. What's the commercial?
Oh, it was an old BASF commercial about that we don't make the products that you buy. We make the products that you buy better.
Sorry, your picture has to be bigger. Fuck you, man.
You need a bigger picture.
I don't have to be 512. I couldn't detect a face. Oh man. Dude, I don't even have one that is my face. I wonder if that's necessary.
It must be at least 500 by 500. So scale it up.
Why don't you just have a button on there that says click here to activate the camera and we'll take your picture?
Does it require a photo?
I don't know. I'm doing the I'm
already moved. How many of these fields are required? It's either all or none. The way the UI is built.
Email notifications, I'll turn that off. Website, GitHub, Twitter, LinkedIn, Nomad, Insta. Write a bio about yourself. I'm going to leave that out. Available for work. Your preferred annual pay minimum. Oh, look, it says, gives you already in the thousands. So I don't know, 250. My preferred hourly, I guess, would be twice that, right? Badges early adopter. This site's been around for 100 years, and I'm an early adopter. Please enter at least a single skill set. This is one you were talking about.
Here's your tag club. There's a perfect opportunity for you to put your MBA.
I don't have an MBA.
Well, then
go get one. Just get good. Tags. You can just like freeform.
Masters of Business Administration from the University of Life.
Listen, I got JavaScript. I got JS, HTML. I do HTMX, man. I love that thing.
Ooh.
HTMX.
Did you ever do any VRML?
No, but I used A-Frame before. You ever used A-Frame?
Nope.
Dude, A-Frame is dope. A-Frame is very cool.
When I was using Erix for years, it had a built-in VRML browser, so I'd get bored every now and then and spend time with VRML.
Bro, I know XML and SOAP. Languages that you're fluent in. So I'm in America, so I hardly even speak English. Let's see if that's required. I'll just hit save changes. Please set at least one social so that companies can contact you there.
Very random set of things that appear to be required.
One social.
Why would they have to contact you? Wouldn't they contact you via email?
Nope. I put my own site in, but then it says you have to do something else.
You must be social to apply to sign up on our.
I got all the socials. Please enter a single language you are fluent in. All right. Preferred times of please write these as a comma separated list like 0 or +1. Otherwise, our robot can't filter. Where am I? Am I West Coast, East Coast -5? Or is it -4 now that we springed ahead?
Right now we are -4.
All right. So what do I do here? Do I got to change this every time my time zone changes?
Probably.
US-EN and I'm sorry, I did it wrong, right? EN-US, EN-GB. Well, I pressed save changes and I don't know if it worked.
What just happened?
No, I just pressed the button.
Did it reject you? Did it not reject? Oh, there we go.
Oh, there it goes. I had to. Oh, I guess it was just like lagging and it went 2 times. Please add a new row. Add a row. 2000.
Could you guys just put little stars on these things, little asterisks that say these are required fields so that people know this? Did you just promote
something? I'm spinning. Remote worker with 24+ years experience. Last seen 1 second ago. I think it's neat that it wants to enforce that I have a photo in there.
Except it didn't, right? It didn't enforce the photo.
Oh, no, it said you had to have one with your picture in it.
The only way you can find out that these were required was by clicking save and finding out what happened.
Yeah, that's fine. It feels like, you're like hating on this thing and that works sort of against some of my bias because I think that the guy who made it is a good example of like entrepreneurship things, so like,
he doesn't need. So this is why.
Don't badmouth that guy who doesn't know I exist.
This is why your funnel is a filter. Because it's going to exclude people who aren't willing to put up with your interfaces. Every step.
You think that's what it's doing?
And and that's why. So when we were building video games, we really wanted funnels. We wanted to capture everyone. So we were just identifying where they fell out of the funnel so that we could put walls up and guardrails to keep them in, right? Versus when you're trying to create exclusivity, you only want the people that wind up at the bottom.
I have a file in this directory that's called David Avatar, and it's not showing up in this list because it says customized files. So if I do select all files, I can get it. And look, that one's really got a face in it, except it's too damn small. Not to worry, I have an idea. I have this piece of software you might have heard of called the GNU Image Manipulation Program. So my image needs to be 500. I'll just like scale up, export, add.
You're not going to use the image magic command line tools to do it? Come on. You don't have all that off the top of your head?
I mean, I know I typed the word convert. You know, that's as far as I got. Convert. Although I think one of the new versions of Image Magic now got rid of those command names that weren't really there, and they're just symlinks now, and you have to say like Imagic, and then but converts like the default one, so you could just say that. Like I ran into some script that was doing something with that I had to fiddle with. David photo -5. I think I made it 512. And I think the filter here, let's just find out real quick. Back to inspecting. Photo file uploader accepts JPEG, .jpeg, .png. I'm just going to make it do .jpeg because I use.
See if it breaks their back end.
Well, I wasn't trying to do that. I just needed. That's what I do on my machine, is I call my stuff JPEG, and I put the necessary characters in there. Where's David?
You grew up in the Windows world, right? Where in Windows world, everything has only three-letter extensions.
No problemo, buddy. Look at that.
Let's see if it actually shows up on your profile when you.
It's the client-side filter. Save changes. I hit save changes, bro.
They've got a robot that's going to do face detection. Does it work?
Yeah, I'm in there. I'm in there like Superman. All right. That's cool. So now I can apply for a job. That's actually not so terrible. Senior jobs. Is that for like old people? EP, senior full stack. Everywhere. What's Lemon.io, I wonder? Marketplace that connects you with hand-picked
startups. Oh, so that's a agency or a faux agency, basically just another website to send your stuff to that will.
Oh, this is so bad. I'm right here, bro. This is like, please show me the definition of recursion. And I go to Remote OK to look for a remote job. And then there's this company that helps me find a remote job that's advertising on this remote job site to you could get a remote job working for this other company that helps you find a remote job. It's
except that this probably isn't actually working for Lemon.io. This is going to lead you to add to their applicant pool. I mean, maybe you would be working for them, but
Lemon.io is hiring a something.
I suspect that this is a apply now and join the community. Yeah.
We also have an urgent request from our client.
Yeah.
Senior with 5+ years, 3+ of Python.
This is just a database builder job post, right? So they need resumes in their database so that they can convince people to list jobs with them. And this job post is just a lead.
Yeah, right there. It says video ask, watch or start video about something. Complete a profile on yet another website. Hooray. 30-minute screening call, technical interview, feedback, magic box.
Don't forget to mention the word fervent. Otherwise, they will think you were a bot.
Why are you saying that?
Above salary compensation.
Oh, please mention the word fervent when applying to show you read the job post completely. Do you think you should also include this It's like base 64 encoded something or other.
No, but I think you should decode it and find out what it is.
Get one online here. I don't want to do it on my own computer.
Right? Do it on someone else's.
Or some binary shit. All right. It's convinced me. This to hex to base 64-D, is that right? Yeah, I got the same thing.
Yeah.
I just did this nonsense and it says it's invalid input. Maybe because it doesn't like that terminator or something. I don't even know. But then I get some binary shit. Who knows what that is? -- help. With no file or when file is dash, do the dash. I did.
Mean, they say between 20 and 50% of jobs that are listed are fake.
I could believe that.
I mean, like, this one is functionally fake, right? Because it's just somebody, and this isn't a new problem.
It's a job for a job. It's a job.
25 years ago, I would apply for jobs that turned out that they were just stuffing databases, and I still get calls in 2025. I still get calls or emails to an email address that I only used for sending resumes out in the year 2000. And every now and then I'll even get a phone call because they'll have like managed to find a newer phone number, like a year 2002 phone number. And it's amazing how they're buying old databases so that they can call people.
Why did this bounce back to my own resume? Yeah, why not, man? I think you might be right that these guys are that remote okay. What the fuck? Front page. Maybe that's what I want. That these guys might be just scraping jobs from somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know?
Click through one to see
I love that they have all these nice icons on here, though.
Right?
Yeah. There used to be this really cute icon set back in the day called, like, Silk. This is, like, maybe what Silk would have turned into. I mean, it looks a lot like that Silk icon set. Give me a job that says API in it. I wonder if he's loading that as maybe like a font or something. It doesn't even matter, really. Could just be emojis these days, you know? Some of these jobs are also pretty old. Do you think there's like a cap?
I don't know. I don't know if he filters them off or not. But the thing about 6, 12, 18, 24-month-old jobs is sometimes if you apply to those, you're that one person that applies and the position's still open, or they've just decided to open a new position. It depends on whether or not this ends up in like a generic form or you wind up in the ATS position for it, because if they haven't closed it in the ATS, then you can still submit. In the days before the ATS systems, you would just hit a web form and you could still submit, or it said send an email, right? But if they've closed the position, then the ATS will close it, so there's be dead links. But click through the apply. What does it take us to the ATS?
This one? No, this one takes me to. Oh, that's right. I have an account now. I'm chilling.
Wing assistant. Was that an ad inside the posting?
No, this is the job.
Oh, okay. Wing assistant was the company. Okay.
Somebody doing LLM in Python and cannot get. Oh, he's going.
See, that's going to lever, and it's failed.
Go.
Yeah.
Cannot.
It didn't even give you a friendly.
That's a friendly error message. Is that what you're talking about? That's friendly. It tells me exactly what happened. Can't get it. Can't you read?
It's got a double slash in there. Remove that double slash. See if it.
Oh, it does have whack apply.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
See if that fixes it.
Oh, and look, here's that weird base 64 good shit. RM blah 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 is in the URL here too.
So this job's been closed.
Has been closed. All right. That's too bad because, 2 months ago, anyways, is that one.
But go back to the lever.
I tried to go back. I clicked the back button. It does not go backwards. It returned to my profile. I think there's just.
Oh no, but you get the tab open, right? Go to the lever tab.
The one that's broken.
Yeah. So go and just go back. So strip off everything. The FFDA.
Get Wing. Just Get Wing app.
Yeah, with lever, you should be able to see what all the jobs that they have posted.
Oh, this is like the company's profile page.
Yeah, if it loads. There we go.
Plan?
So that way you say, hey, they did once posted something. Maybe they have something for me.
Founders Associates, Strategic Finance, Sales Support, Onboarding, ALML, blah, 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 Front-end Web Developer, MERN. I noticed they're hiring all of their devs seem to be, oh no, they have this innovation engineering, looks like it's in India, Mumbai, Hyderabad, etc. So sales calls from South Africa. Here's a bunch of jobs specifically to India, Mexico. What does that one say? PH is Philippines.
Yep.
Why it says Bravo? Is that a location?
Bravo,
No.
Charlie. Are these their office names or something in the Philippines?
I don't even know. Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta though. That makes sense.
Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Development.
Don't you know how to do the phonetic alphabet? Real estate virtual assistant, lead generation specialist. Hey, I know how to do that. Well,
lever is very slow today, isn't it?
I don't know. I share the internet with somebody who's playing Roblox. Could be that. Anyway, now I guess I saw a bunch of stuff on the internet. Like folks were like, "Oh, I'm so mad. Job applying sucks." And I thought, those cats don't know anything. It's not that terrible because but I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant about it because I have not applied for a job in ages. Oh, here we go. Lead generation. Apply for the job. Where did I just put my resume? Desktop. Resume.
And now you wait a little bit.
That's cool. I can wait. We're entertaining ourselves here. Should put my LinkedIn profile in to see if anybody can pull that up. Maybe Lever is overloaded because they're currently hiring a Kubernetes engineer to help scale up, and they're having extra job applications right now because everybody's looking for a job at the moment. Look at this. Desired salary is a big old text box. That's cool.
And so it's start date. Can you work weekends?
No, I already selected no.
Oh, this was a lead generation job. So okay, that's fair.
How did you hear about this job? Hey, they don't even have what's his name on here.
Yep.
Okay. Are you currently employed? Yeah. What is your notice period? I don't care. Have you worked for these folks before? What time of the day can you work? I prefer my local day shift. Are you okay? What's a screen monitoring program? Oh, no. I know. I thought that was going to monitor me like a screening. You think they're going to record my screen while
they're going to record your screen and make sure your mouse is moving at all times.
Oh, I should say yes on that one. And then then complain that they can't get it to like install properly on Gentoo Linux. Just, oh, this job's not working out for me. Can't you just switch distributions? Fuck no. Yeah, I'll talk about something. Upload a screenshot of your upload and download speeds. The screenshot should look as follows on this thing that's not a link and this other thing that's not a link. F you. A backup internet? I only have one internet. Of your computer.
But that's required. You've got to give a screenshot of both of them and what your computer specification.
Let's see what they want that to look like. See details in Windows security. I think I can get. I can get details about my machine.
Just start catting stuff out of proc.
Find/proc exit cat and just like barf all this stuff. I used to have LSHW installed, but I don't think.
But then you're gonna have to You have to do a rolling screenshot of a window, right? Because it has to be a screenshot.
I'm going to cat all the output into a text file, and then I'm going to render the text file in like a large browser window that can be as tall as it needs to be, and then I'll make that take a screenshot of the document that is incredibly tall with like a headless browser. It can do that, and that'll work. I wonder if I should do that just to like harass these folks. I'm not going to. That is the end of my rant on this one, man. This is ridiculous, and I think that it is. I think I understand people's frustration.
Just scraping the surface of the mess.
Right. I'm not even like trying to find a job. What if you were trying to find a job? Yep. This would suck ass. And you're trying to figure out this, and you have to do this 100 times a day, or at least maybe it's not 100 times a day, but it's a non-zero amount of times per day.
Yep.
And you're going to then,
and somebody's going to say,
I have my LinkedIn updated, and I might have to have my profile site updated, and I might be nervous about some of the jobs because they're not going to keep me private, or they're going to have to check my referrals or references or something. Like folks will call me up and say, hey, I want to use you as a reference. Is that okay? Hell yeah, it is. I feel like I've made good hiring choices my whole life. Maybe it may or may not be true, but I'm happy to be a reference.
If you're a conscientious applicant, right, then you're going to look at this job description. You're going to try to make sure that you only apply to jobs that feel like they actually resonate with you and that you work for you. And so you're going to invest time in each one of these job descriptions. Then you've got to go deal with the thing. You probably, you decide you're going to write a cover letter because maybe they have a required field for a cover letter, which is an upload and not just something you can type into a field. So now you have to go create a PDF that you can upload as a cover letter, right? You invest a lot of time into that, even with what should be simple.
I think is how you do it. Oops, I don't have it with Pandoc, but that's how I got my resume done. Was I was using Pandoc, and markdown to what? PDF. That's what it is. MD2 PDF, a Docker container that does just that. Fucking love it. The Docker size is 1.6 gigabytes to do an MD to PDF. Are you flipping kidding me? That's ridiculous. I wonder how big my Pandoc image is, though. Pandoc core is, oh yeah, I got 3 different Pandoc ones, and the total is more than 1.6 gigs. So, okay, I get it. Maybe that's what it has to be. Anyways, you know what needs to happen with all this AI shit is instead of having it on the applicant tracking side, the applicants should all just like post their resume, and now it's not an applicant tracking system, it's like a job tracking system for the applicant. Here's your resume, and we're going to like auto filter all these jobs out there for you to find the stuff you are qualified for, because the job says it's remote, something. You know, you need a JTS. And then the employer side, you know, as the employer, you know what the promise of Upwork was, and it never delivered, was that with Upwork, I could go into Upwork and say, oh yeah, I found a project and I'm working on a project that I, you know, got to build a team. So, well, we've got, you know, we need a Terraform expert. I should be able to go to Upwork, look for my Terraform expert, find one who's available right now for work, and then like click on it and hire them for the next week full time. I need you for the next 40 hours, you know, do the work for me, do the thing for 40 hours. And then as the company side, I'm not even going to interview anybody. You know, the interview costs $2,000. Might as well just hire somebody and say, I'll pay you $2,000 to do the job that I need you to do. And don't even give them any of the BS like, oh, and if it works out, we'll continue the relationship. That's how it always works. Hey, girl, you want to go get some coffee? And if the coffee goes, girl, hey, let's go get a dinner. Let's go get dessert. Let's go get some drinks. You know, that's how it always works with all the relationship. Hey, the first date was good. Let's have another and another and another and another and another. So, and how come Upwork, and who was the other one? Upwork bottom. It was like Upwork was one.
Oh, well, they bought Fiverr.
Or maybe it was Elance rebranded to, and freelancer.com. Freelancer.com. I wonder if that one's even still around. Hire the best freelancers. Oh, it is still online. Oh, I wonder if I still have my account there. Forgot password. Sure did. Ooh, I don't remember. Email or username. Incorrect. I should just make my password incorrect. So every time it's wrong, I can just make it say incorrect and get back in. Anyhow, yeah, okay. So Freelancer didn't get absorbed. I think Upwork was maybe Elance and then maybe grabbed up somebody else to build themselves. But neither one of those is giving me upload your job posting and we'll AI your job posting and then look in our talent pool and pull them to the top. I mean, it sort of is doing that, but then I'm still doing the whole hiring process and looping back through and seeing if they're the right fit and all those other things. I guess because I'm not also just not looking for a gig worker, but sometimes I feel like if the company's really got an urgent need, like, oh, I need somebody to do my Terraform real quick, or I have an old project on this legacy box and I just need somebody to repackage this legacy box thing into some VM image. Don't even try to make it in a container. Just turn it from that Windows host on that hardware into a thing that'll run on Windows in a VM. And now I can move my VM all over my infrastructure and stuff. Copy and paste that for backups, etc. And just hire somebody to do it. You know, hire somebody, send them the employment agreement, send them the non-disclosure agreement, send them the works for hire agreement, assignment of intellectual property things, blah, blah, blah. And then don't even interview. Just pay them $2,000 of work. Because the interview is going to cost you $2,000.
Right.
You know, that only works, though, if the candidate is available for work, which is maybe sort of something you want to do. I only want to find people who are currently looking for work. Everybody else who's gainfully employed and sort of looking for something to do, you know, and again, in March 2025, where, you know, there's some increasing joblessness. You know, it used to be, oh, if these guys are unemployed, right? The .com bubble, if you were unemployed, it was because you suck. And there were loads of people who did suck, but were employed, you know? And then it was like, oh, if you don't have a job right now, or you're looking for work because you got let go or whatever, maybe it's because you're not good. Oh, well, the company went out of business. maybe the company went out of business because all of you were not good. You know, you got some stink on you. Anyway, this was pretty good, and I see why everybody in this game is like frustrated. And I can see why it's even frustrating for folks on the other side. By the time you meet a candidate, they've already been annoyed. You know, they've already been on hold for 45 minutes.
Right.
And typed in their name and their account number and their PIN code into the phone system. And then you're like, thanks for calling Wells Fargo. What's your name? I told you.
And then they got you've been on hold, and it says, thanks, we'll call you back.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and so they're waiting on the call back.
Different problem.
But only some of them call you back.
Right. Ugh. I wonder, I wish I had more time to do the experiment. Like, how long would it take me to get a call back on like a job that I feel like I could be qualified for? Or how many of these just turn into ghost jobs? You know, none of the Indeed or any of those other ones said about the email. You maybe should set up a phony email for like every job that you're applying for, or for every ATS that you run into.
Or at least a batch, right? Say, okay, for 2025, I'm going to use this email address.
jobseeker2025@gmail.com or something.
And remember, everyone, all you have on any of the Google email platforms, all you have to do is add a plus and an extension, and that is a valid email address. So jobseeker+2025@gmail.com.
I mean,
jobseeker@gmail.com +20 is a valid email address.
I'm all about user address extensions, but I think that some of these systems, there's two problems when you try to use them. And I frequently try to use them, but some of them accept your email with the user address extension on there, you know, plus foo or whatever, but then strip it out when they're doing stuff to send you email or putting you into their system. Or then some of them say plus symbol in your email address. That's impossible. And it won't even let you sign up.
Apparently they've never read RFC 822.
Or whichever. I think that's been superseded by another one.
Superseded. But the constraints are still there. The constraints are still the same.
Yeah, plus supposed to be allowed.
Yeah, it is allowed. 100% it's allowed. It is a completely valid character in an email address.
And it's mail programs, not for not for an ATS, right?
But there's plenty that is entirely possible for you to have a valid email address that's not an extension address in a different platform that plus is part of your email address.
That's right. I remember a cajillion years ago.
If you're using Qmail extensions, they're a hyphen. Google decided to use pluses. I think
Postfix has a configuration variable that says which character do you want to use for this magic sauce.
Right, exactly. So, but if you don't use that, it's just a character in your email address, and it's totally valid. So if an ATS or anyone else building a form field decides that plus isn't a valid character, they are choosing to exclude some valid email addresses, regardless of extension or otherwise.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. I think I found my how I got my resume in PDF format is that I came out of Markdown, and I am trying to figure out how to like get it to then run from my Pandoc Docker container. Because I have Docker, because I'm not installing all the dependencies for fucking Pandoc. Anyway, this was a good jam session, man. That was more fun than I expected it was going to be. So I'm going to mark that one done. I'm going to wait for these transcripts, and I'm going to get this one up there. I'm going to